this session in our Q&A series brought to you by the Costa Rica Project.com and the Association of Responsible Detoxification International. The links are going to be placed below in the About section. My name is Marco, one of Dr. Morse's many students, and I'm here with the Costa Rica Project and also Matt Bennett. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm actually on day 2 of a water fast right now, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Wow. So water fast, we're talking about detoxification. So today we're going to talk about the foods that are natural to our species.
Right.
Okay, so tell me what that means. Tell me what that means first. Let's define it.
Okay. Well, when I think about what the natural food for humans would be, for man, there's a lot of confusion out there. I get questions about, what am I supposed to eat? Or, there's so many different theories and books and different opinions on what really humans should eat. And it seems to be we're the only ones that have this dilemma. Because all the other creatures on this planet go by what their natural intuition tells them, unless they're domesticated, of course. But so what I like to explain is, my idea is to go by what I like to call the guardian of our body, which I consider our tongue and our taste buds. That's basically the gatekeeper to what is allowed into the body and what naturally tastes right to us in its natural state. So if you're out, if we didn't have technology, if we didn't have teachers and industry marketing to us throughout our entire lives, we would basically have just our intuition to go off of. And if I was out in, say, the woods or anywhere, if I was anywhere, what I would eat is what would taste good to me. Now, the only way that we end up eating the wrong foods is by basically manipulating them. Things like meat products, dairy products, even vegetables such as rice, beans, potatoes. Not that they are necessarily, those vegetables, not that they're harmful, but really, when you think about it, would that naturally be what we would eat if we didn't have the ability to cook our foods, use technology in some way to alter them, to enhance their flavor? If you were just out there, picked up a bean or a piece of rice, from the field, it wouldn't really taste that great to us. So I don't think we would sit down and have a meal eating that. So what I consider our natural foods are those foods that we have absolutely no need to alter or anything. So fruits, you can go up to a fruit tree and eat all day, and you can just sit there and eat that for the meal for, as long as you want. And, leafy greens and things like that. So pretty much that narrows it down to fruits, vegetables, and leafy greens. And that is what I consider to be our natural foods. So.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Okay, so what do you say to someone who's saying, well, I don't really eat that stuff. And in fact, I can tell you from myself, up until about 6 or 7 years ago, I wasn't proud. I was just used to say, I don't really eat fruit. It was something that just did. So, but, so what would you say to someone not like me, or maybe like me, but someone who'd say, well, I don't really eat that stuff, and I'm okay. I'm still here. I'm doing okay. So what does that mean?
Yeah, and, that is a common, thought among people that, and I was the same way too. When I think back now to how many like fresh fruits and vegetables that I had eaten up until I got into this lifestyle, it was, astonishing how few fruits and vegetables that I actually...
It's scary, isn't it, looking back?
Yeah, it really is. I can't really even believe it. But, what I would basically say is that the human body is an amazing machine. You know, it can put up with a whole lot of abuse for, you know, quite a while. It's very good at you know, adjusting and compensating in areas uh, in order to prolong our lives, in order to prolong homeostasis and keep the body in functioning condition. But unfortunately, after so many years of this abuse and just wrong living habits, it does tend to start breaking down, and that, you know, generally occurs, you know, 40 years or so. Once somebody hits 40 and after, and I mean even now it's becoming sooner than that, but generally what we've seen is like 40 years and after that, then people start coming down with, you know, these sudden chronic illnesses and debilitating diseases that, you know, completely just flip their lives upside down. And they think that it's just something that happened suddenly out of nowhere, when really it's an accumulation of a lifetime of the, you know, wrong living habits and eating habits. So yeah, we can feel okay for a while eating, you know, more of the processed meat-based foods and animal products, uh, or, you know, potato chips and any of that processed stuff. You know, we can get by on it for a little while, but once you start eating fresh, organic fruits and vegetables for, you know, a good portion of your diet, you will notice a difference, and you will start to understand what condition you were in prior to that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And you know, something we've echoed in our, or we've echoed something that we mentioned in our other videos, and that's you have to try it. We can say yes, but, and maybe it's our, for me, you know, I think it's our ego saying yes, but, because the yes, but just means no, I want to maintain what I'm doing and not consider changing anything. That's what a yes, but normally means.
I agree.
But when you actually do it, it really, you feel it and you think, oh, I had no idea.
Amazing.
Why didn't anybody tell me?
Right.
And okay, let me just ask you one more question then. So, I mean, I agree with you. Before I ask you that question, I agree with you. You know, I noticed a little while ago, we live quite near the south coast of the UK, and sometimes my wife and I go to a town on the south coast, and we were there a little while ago, and we were walking along, and I saw a seagull. There were plenty of seagulls, and he swooped down and he picked some stuff, some potato chips off the road or something, and there was actually there was a packet of potato chips that had not been opened. Someone dropped it, and he was pecking it, and I thought, well, he obviously wants to get in there, but he's probably not going to know that he even has to go in there. And you know, within, I don't know, he worked out a technique. He slit that puppy right open, and he was eating potato chips. And I remember thinking, well, he's not supposed to be, or she, whatever gender it was, isn't supposed to be eating those. But like us, they are, I don't know, for whatever reason, right? Because I think man is quite a dirty animal. We leave litter everywhere, and you know, we can say that they're surviving eating things they shouldn't be eating too, but like you say, I don't think anyone's going to argue that seagulls should be eating deep fried stuff, you know.
Right.
So, you know, that was just echoed what you said about we can live for a while. And it's funny, I mentioned to someone the other day, I said the same thing. I said, you about 40 years of age, then we're starting to, you'll see it. Okay, so let me ask you one more thing. What about evolution? Would you say that we've evolved now different to our, you know, someone might say, yeah, but we're not like animals, you know, we don't live in the wild. We've evolved, we're different to animals.
The evolution thing, yeah, I do get that question, and you know, one, you know, I struggle with taking everything at face value, you know, taking everything as truth that we have been taught about our history and how humans have evolved over thousands and thousands of years. Um, there's always a little bit of skepticism for me as to how they can tell us what, natural evolution or what our natural diet should be based on, our evolution or so, or, what you want to call it. But I still go back to what our intuition and our tongues basically tell us. You can give me a theory of evolution, but I can give you right now, in this moment, what my tongue is telling me is true to my physiology and anatomy. And I think that trumps any theory of evolution that they could even come up with.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, when you think about what's out there, I have mentioned, I think in a previous video, that I think it's staring us right in the face, every single one of us. And, I've mentioned a few times that about children, right? Children, everyone says children love candy, and there is no candy in nature. So to me, that tells me children are craving fruit. Children are craving fruit.
Exactly.
But we give them candy and chocolate, and then, of course, then an apple doesn't do it. And like I've said before, then that tells me that an apple doesn't do it because it's not as sweet as chocolate or whatever, so we're programmed to eat the sweetest fruit. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I do agree with you. And like we said, right? Try it. We're not trying to sell you anything, and normally the people that tell us what to eat, at somewhere down the chain, if you follow the money, someone's making a profit from something.
Exactly. And when you look at when kids or even adults are more drawn to processed foods, these companies that are making these products are putting high fructose corn syrup, they're putting other sweeteners in there that are artificial and are way higher in addictive chemicals than we would ever come across in nature. So it is a way for them to kind of confuse our bodies into thinking, basically addicting us to these foods. And that is where I think a lot of confusion comes up, is people are more addicted to these stimulating foods, and if they could just give those a break and let their bodies, come back down to a natural balance and to start tasting and adjusting to these raw fruits and vegetables, they would see, even if you go back to it, like I used to be a big soda or pop drinker, and I would drink a couple a day probably. And when I got off of that, now if I would drink a soda now, it tastes like syrup, like it's just not appealing to me anymore. So your body will come back down to its natural, preferences, and then you'll kind of realize what you were eating and thought that was, tasting good to you at that point. So.
You reminded me when those Survivor type shows first started. I think I was doing a psychology degree at the time, so I was like interested, how it would be. But you reminded me of something. I remember on one of the shows in the UK, they were sending people off to Australia or something, and there was a lady there who spent, she was there in the long time in the jungle, and she was, when they didn't complete their tasks or whatever it was, they got their basic staple, which was beans and rice. No salt, no anything, just plain, And afterwards, I remember an interview with her saying, well, she didn't mind it. She said it was okay. But what she did notice, that when she went back to civilization, the smell, as she used to open the refrigerator, she said it was almost pungent. She couldn't take what, she was amazed about how her senses had been heightened, because suddenly all these things were really pungent, and she was thinking, oh my goodness, this used to be normal for me and not pungent.
Yeah.
And I think that it echoes what you said, right? Because we're all over the place, our nose, our taste buds. You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. Matt, thank you so much for your time today. And tell me, where can people find you on the internet?
I have a couple YouTube channels. My main one that I just started is Raw Intuition. So you can find me at youtube.com/rawintuition. And then I have my previous channel that I'm still undecided if I'm going to keep posting videos to, but there's over 100 videos on there. So if you want to see some of those videos, that is small steps to success. So those are my two YouTube channels. I'm working on coming up with a website, but it's not ready yet. So at that time, I'll let you know.
Cool. That's fantastic. Again, thank you so much, and speak soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you want to see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I want to be.